There once was a little boy. His name was Dinker. He was only 3 feet tall. That was a problem because you see his girlfriend was 8 feet tall. 3 feet, 8 feet, it kinda didn't work. So you see, his girlfriend's name was Dinky. Tinker and Dinky were walking one day, and this old man saw them, right? And so he thought, hey, like, look at that mother and child. And so he goes and is like, hey, excuse me, ma'am, could your son use a jacket? Because he looks a little cold. I mean, anybody that short would seem to be cold, just because there's not that much meat on their bones, or bones to put meat on, I don't know. So she got really butthurt, right? Because what the heck? It was her boyfriend. He was like 26 for the sake of humanity. Like, what the heck? He was like, oh my goodness, my manhood, great. Everybody thinks I'm this little kid. This is my girlfriend. They think I'm her son. What to do? So basically, he needed a plan to look taller so he could date her. He really loved her. So Tinker went to the doctor and he tried to get surgery, but the problem is they only do like bone extension surgery on bigger people, like something about their systems taking implants. Like, his system would be more susceptible to infection. He was only 3 feet tall. Like, sound like baloney to me, but what does that even mean? Like, you have to be taller to get bone implants? So basically, if you're short enough to really want to get rods implanted into your body, you can't, because you're not tall enough to handle such a risky surgery. So basically, Dinker was kind of upset. Like, that was his last bit of hope. So he decided to go and live in the mountains amongst some goats for a while. Don't ask me why, I'm just telling you the story. Like, I wouldn't know why he would choose such a thing, but basically, Tinker, they call him Tinky, it's his nickname. Basically, Dinker was in the mountains, and his girlfriend, Dinky, went to visit him a couple times, and she got pregnant. There was a problem with that pregnancy, though, because, you know, they just passed a law in the land that if you have a baby that is smaller than a certain, you know, standard, they would send him to be a sock maker for all of eternity in China. They would just send him there. Just send him there. So poor little Tinker's baby that was just gonna have to go to China now to be a sock maker forever. And like, that's a child, okay? Human rights. Like, what the heck? Can't even imagine him. Those little chubby hands bearing needles. Like, he could poke himself. So anyways, she's just praying and praying that the baby would be tall. But look at Dad. Dad is basically the size of like a Frito. So how is the baby gonna be tall? So in a nutshell, she started eating all kinds of weird stuff to try and grow a little bit, and she got kind of sick. She got really bad gas. Like, she was eating oranges with milk, molasses, like all this stuff, trying to get vitamins, these weird cacai berries, and like some reaction kind of happened because she just started blowing the place up. Like, everywhere she went, she was like, burp, burp. She killed some people. Like, literally killed some people. Like, the combination of foods in her stomach created gases so volatile that she caused like tracheal reactions in young people and really, really old people. And so it was kind of like, it mimicked kind of like an asthma kind of thing. Like they just really couldn't breathe. It kind of just swole up and they died. And the only reason they knew it was her is because all the people that were walking with them, the people that died, smelt it too, and they almost died, but they were just a little too young or too old to die. So basically chick gets locked up, right, for combining the wrong foods and farting people to death. And so what is she gonna do now? She's pregnant, double stress. She has to worry about if the baby's gonna be tall enough so he doesn't have to be an eternal sock maker, and also she has to worry about being in jail while hubby is off running around in the mountains with stinking goats. Like, what a lame. Who does that anyways? Like, I'm gonna go live with goats, guys, while my wife is in jail and having a baby that can be too sore. I have to make coverings for people's feet until he dies. Like, I don't know. So he had to make this plan to get her out. And so what he would do is he would send her mail with paper soaked in volatile gases. Not gases, but like the chemicals you could eat to make volatile gases. Because he already knew her intestines were deadly, right? These ones are the kinds that can kill old people and young people alike. Or everybody in between. So she'd eat the paper and kill everybody in the jail and then leave. And they would just think, hey, it's a coincidence, right? Because no one else would be there to say, she's the one that farted, she killed us all. They would just think, hey, this girl got out. What was she in for anyways? Well, the records are destroyed because they were just destroyed. Her farts are that bad. Fumes got into the computer system and just... So they did it. They killed about 50,000 people that day. That was a big jail. People were in there for stealing muffins, for like killing grasshoppers on Thursdays in Snifgilia, which is a new land. It's a land that was established, you know, right off the coast, one of those little islands. Well, they established a rule that you can't kill grasshoppers on Thursdays because they basically worship insects. And grasshoppers are the head insect, and they can't stop them from killing them on every other day, but Thursdays is actually the day of grasshopper in Snifgilia. So, yeah, there were about 50 people in jail for that. Some people were in there for throwing tomatoes at old people. Some people were in there for stealing, like, TVs and stuff. Like, they were the lifers. Then you have, you know, the usual stealing candy from babies, throwing eggs at cars. This prison gave hardcore punishments for not so hardcore crimes. But hey, little did they know they were gonna die being in there. They thought they're gonna serve their term and leave, but I guess not. So anyway, she leaves after killing all those poor little grasshopper squishers and orange throwers. And she goes to the mountains again with her boyfriend, and she goes into labor. Guess how big the baby was? The baby was bigger than the freaking mountain. I don't even know how it happened. Like, when it came out, it looked like one of those creepy sci-fi movies, like, like bubbles, like, big enough to, like, encapsulate all of society. Like, where did that thing come from? Holy crap. Like, she was tall, but not that tall. That was some crazy stuff. If only you had seen that big old hunk of baby come out of that woman, you would have died just then out of shock, because everything you knew to be true would now be untrue. That a baby that big could not come out of a woman that normal size. Yeah, the amount of questions that would go through your head would just kill you. So this baby's like rolling, then he starts rolling down the hill, right? Too big for mom to hold. What is she gonna do about it? Strap him down? Like, so he starts rolling down the mountain, crying like, poor baby. He's not gonna be making socks, I'll tell you that much. He wouldn't even be able to hold a needle if he tried. So basically he's rolling down the mountain, blunk, 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 blunk. Eventually gets